This is Canon's Red Line Challenge. This Red Line Challenge is about light in the dark. For me, shooting at night is such a creative process. I can really control the light and create images the way I have them in my head. Landscape, action sport, portrait, whatever comes to your mind. There are unlimited possibilities. You're able to see stuff with your camera that your own eyes are not able to see. In this film, I'm going to share some of my favorite techniques for shooting in the dark. We're going to talk about light and shadow, using shutter speed to create in-camera effects, and how to tune your eyes to spot great opportunities in the city streets. I'm going to share with you my most favorite techniques, tips and tricks, and I want to encourage you to go out and create magic. First, let's talk a little bit about light. For me, for a good image, you need the balance of light and the shadows, because the shadows are where the mysterious stuff is. With shadows, you get drama. So what I wanted to show you, this is like really not a very beautiful wall, but it's very simple and it explains how the light behaves. I think the worst thing you can do is pretty much put your light straight against the wall, because then it's almost like an on-camera flash and everything will get totally flat. See how the light changes when I just move to the side. The wall gets way more structure. You really can see how that changes the wall. And what we have here on the right hand side is a little bit more of a hot spot, because we have the light very close to the wall, and the left side of the wall loses a lot of light. The reason for that is light loses exponential. So if you want to light up that wall very equally, just put the flash like far away. So basically, when you've set up everything correctly, how do you control the ambient light? The only thing actually you have to remember, ISO and aperture changes everything. If your background is too dark, just open the shutter speed. Once you start to experiment with light, you will see a real change in your photography. There are so many possibilities and there is no limit. I pretty much never got to the point where I think, okay, I've done it all with light. So what do you do if you don't have a flash or expensive gear? Well, you can just go out, take your tripod, your camera, and your imagination, and then you can create amazing images. And I'm going to show you how you can do this. I remember when I saw my first long time exposure with those trailing lights through the frame, I thought, like, oh, okay, this is next level, but actually it's super easy. Do like a 30-second exposure, and in that 30 seconds, every light source that moves through your frame will be captured. That's something really cool, because you can't see that with your own eyes.
It's pretty windy, but I think I got my first framing, how I want to do it. We're gonna have a longer exposure time, but I'm not able to hold the camera physically still for such a long time, so that's why we need the tripod. It reminds me a little bit when I was a kid and I did my first long time exposure. It's pretty cool.
Another cool tip is actually when you have the camera on the tripod and you just push the button, sometimes it shakes a little bit. And you can avoid that when you put it on self-timer mode. With that, you can just push the button, the countdown goes off, and the camera is not shaking and you won't have any blurry images.
We might even get a train, but that's gonna be hard. Oh, we missed that one. We missed the train. We missed the train. Of course, I could take multiple images and then put it all together in Photoshop, but like that's the fun of it. You want to really wait for the right moment and get it all done in one picture. It's just a way of the philosophy of my photography, so that's why I want to shoot it all in one picture. Boom, here we go. We even got a plane back here, fighting his way through the rain back there and through the wind. That's kind of cool.
Try the long exposure and you're gonna be blown away what you see on your screen.
Sweet. I'm happy. Cold night, windy. We had fun, we had rain, we had lights. Let's call it a day. Let's go.
Okay, let's say you want to go out your front door, take your camera, couple of lenses, and you want to shoot great images. The secret is you have to look for opportunities in the streets around you. So in the city, light is coming from everywhere. It's glossy, it's reflecting.
Look towards me, to me.
You have so many possibilities, and that's where the fun is in the city. I like to find interesting architecture because where there is good architecture, there is often good lighting.
We're in pretty much an office district here in Munich, and what I really like is how the walls are illuminated. The light is all the way on top and it lights up the whole building from the top.
That's cool that somebody else actually did the work and you just take the picture of that.
Can you touch your head? We ended up with a Hopper style image, like that was a little bit my intention that I had. Basically just available light, then just the camera did the rest of it. It was, yeah, easy shot.
I really recommend you go out in bad weather. When the streets are wet at night, you can play with reflections and textures. The colors really pop and there is a great atmosphere. Set your camera to 3200 ISO and your shutter no lower than 50th of a second and your aperture wide open. This is a really good starting point, but don't be afraid to experiment. I really want to encourage you, get out of the auto mode, switch the camera to manual. It will push your photography to a whole new level. Of course you will fail, that's just part of the game. At the end, you will be a way better photographer and you're gonna have more fun when you're out shooting. We've looked at some basics of using light and shadow, how to get some cool in-camera effects using the slow shutter speed, and how I approach shooting in the city streets. So these are just some ideas to get you going. Go out there, be creative, but always remember, stay safe, stay within the guidelines of where you live, and just have fun. This is Canon's Redline Challenge. We're really looking forward to see your images, your creativity, how you see the light in the dark.